you shouldn't be including children whatsoever in your antics for decriminalizing prostitution. What the hell is wrong with you?
So you can call me a skeptic when it comes to whitening systems such as strips and professional dental treatments, because number one, it's expensive, it takes too long, and my teeth end up very sensitive and hurt after the process. And so I just think, no, I'm not even going to give into it. I'm not even going to try it out. But recently I have given in to try Snow Whitening System. It comes with a light mouthpiece, 3 whitening wands, 1 extra strength whitening wand, and a tooth shade progress grater. All you have to do is brush your teeth, apply the serum, whiten, then rinse. It's even safe to use on caps, veneers, braces, and crowns and bridges. 97% of the people who use it see results just after 1 use. 100% see long-lasting results after just 21 days. And I can say that I am visibly seeing how on track I am to progress just as well. To get one of these kits, go to my link below. Get those chompers looking great by trying Snow Whitening System today.
Muchachos y muchachas. Growing up, as a 90s kid in the mid 2000s when I was a teenager, or maybe it was like the early thousands when I was a teenager and a tween in my adolescence, we did have this culture of depending on magazines and, just beauty publications to get our trends and our advice. And it seemed pretty benign back then. It was, mainly very benign advice on, maybe feelings going through your adolescence or trends and fashion and, all these things, celebrity coverage. And so, growing up, these things weren't in these magazines, they weren't as malignant as you see now. And what I'm talking about is particularly Vogue, and more specifically Teen Vogue. They've been very controversial in our recent years with very infiltrated and perversive topics that, by the way, are geared towards your target audience of preteens to up to 17-year-olds. It's Teen Vogue. And so the target audience being those of minors, it's very concerning that they form these sort of normalizations of sexuality. And I think that's the grossest and most malignant part of this conversation is that, without the permission of parents or without a real filter, they can really do a lot of damage by guiding your kids or guiding these teenagers into these ideas that they're trying to normalize. There have been things like them normalizing sex work. You guys know that I have my own platform, the Daily TrafficK, where I report on human trafficking headlines. And this was one of my subjects 2 years ago when this headline first deployed about, normalizing sex work, that sex work is a position. Sex work is an actual occupation. Sex work is a real thing. It should be legitimized and, treated as any other thing. And, the big thing about this is that whoever wrote that article I guarantee you, does not sit in with human trafficking survivors. They don't know their stories. They don't know how creating such a big supply will never thirst or quench the thirst of a demand. Meaning that they don't understand how a man's desires, can get infiltrated, and it can get it can break the levee on that, and they can go beyond their bounds. That's why we're seeing such a pervasive problem in our modern day culture, because all of these things are normalized, and even more so, they're really trying to do it more. So that's just one example, the sex, trying to normalize sex work, and then, giving these how-to guides on various types of sex. And mind you, again, these are preteens, 11 years old to 17-year-old teenagers read this magazine, or at least they're geared to. There's a lot of other things that I know about Condé Nast, who is the parent company to Vogue and Teen Vogue, and I'll get into that later down the line. But today, what I'm talking about is another article that I guess there's so many controversial articles from Teen Vogue. I guess this one went past me at the time, but they are on Twitter resurfacing a 2019 article in which promotes teens to utilize, I'm sorry guys, if you're a dude and you watch my channel, I apologize, and you're queasy, I apologize, but hey, it's still good information, because this is what they're trying to do to your nieces, to your daughters, to your granddaughters. Like, you got to know this stuff. But Teen Vogue recently resurfaced an article on how to utilize your teen's menstrual blood for witchcraft. And I'm just here to let you know about it. This is, again, they're just so desperate for views, for clicks, they have to resurface these headlines to try to infiltrate the minds of young people. Let's take a look at what they had to say. So I'm choosing the Gateway Pundit to convey their article. And actually, let me show you. This is actually the tweet. Oops. Here. Sorry. Again. Sorry. But here it is. Teen Vogue, witchcraft. One's menstrual cycle is considered to be extremely powerful time. How to make your menstrual blood magical. So I'm just showing you the receipts. This is coming from Teen Vogue themselves. This is what they're trying to push onto your daughters, onto your nieces, your granddaughters. So look, I'm just here to inform you that this is what they're trying to push. Teen Vogue explains how to use menstrual blood in witchcraft to their 12 to 17-year-old readers. And I will extend that even, earlier, 11 years old, preteen. Teen Vogue, a magazine intended for kids as young as 12, has published a bizarre article explaining how to use menstrual blood for witchcraft. It's an installment of their Practical Magic Witchcraft series. Yes, so meaning that they have many articles more that portray witchcraft as a normalized thing to your child. The writer, Lisa Stardust, begins by saying, "We've all seen how the stigma is spread from tampon commercials showing women discreetly discussing their periods to the way we hide our own menstruation when it's our time of the month. Rather than play into this I hate this word. I hate it because they leave it with a negative connotation. Rather than play to this patriarchal shame, witches and other masters of magic believe menstruation is a gift from nature." Again, this is also a reason, in my opinion, why I cannot stand modern day feminism, because it is so laced up with this pervasive, even like spiritually pervasive nature, where they also infiltrate it with like witchcraft and Satanism, and they say it's not, but they're like, if you have spiritual eyes and you have those spiritual eyes to see, that this stuff is not just it's not just willy-nilly like clean stuff. There's a basis to it. So I can't. They vouch for all the most disgusting things. Armpit hair, the beauty standards are just botched, and there's just a lot wrong. And they put men down and all these things, all the things that are against biblical principles. So I absolutely loathe modern day feminism. I'm just saying. But this is why I say that is because this is going hand in hand with those feminist ideologies, do this, do that, whatever. It's just so fluid. We can also practice witchcraft and it's no big deal. So it's very much infiltrated even spiritually. Stardust goes on to blabber about how periods are magic, especially during the full moon, which forced Teen Vogue to add a disclaimer that the moon does not actually affect your period. The total weirdo then lists some use for menstrual blood to create your own personal magic. Menstrual blood can be used in spells to ward off evil and protect us if used properly, the author wrote in a magazine for kids. Collect any pieces of broken glass, tacks, nails, or anything else you've collected from your journeys that could injure you in a mason jar with your menstrual blood, or use a tampon. Blue advised. Seal it tight, bury it near your home for protection from others, the article states. Additionally, she quotes tarot reader, color magic practitioner, and curator Sarah Potter in another spell. And this is what she has to say. I'm so sorry, guys. I know that this is gross. But these are the things that they're literally trying to infiltrate your younger generations with. They're being very specific with spells and worship of witchcraft. Listen to this. Collect your menstrual blood and add a few drops of a small cup of water to use as ink to write a list of people or situations you wish to release from your life. When your list is complete, set it on fire. Picture all that negativity leaving your energetic field. Potter said, afterwards, take a cleansing bath or shower, and again, picture the negative energy being whisked away from you and washing it down the drain. The magazine for teenagers frequently pushes the boundaries of extremist politics and sexual degeneracy to minors. What did I tell you? In November, Teen Vogue published an article demanding that white women have an answer for backing Republican nominee yet again. In 2019, Teen Vogue faced backlash for an op-ed titled Why Sex Work is Real Work from the people across the political spectrum, written by 𝘕𝗰𝘙, founder of an organization called 𝘕𝗟 for Reproductive Justice. The article calls prostitution to be decriminalized and for children to fund public campaigns to decrease the stigma. You shouldn't be including children whatsoever in your antics for decriminalizing prostitution. What the hell is wrong with you? And this is a quote from that article. The clients who seek sex workers vary. They're not just men. The idea of purchasing intimacy and paying for the services can be affirming for many people who need human connection, friendship, emotional support. Some people may have fantasies and kink preferences that they are able to fulfill with services of a sex worker, the article aimed at children as young as 13 states. And so I know this article because I read through it. What she does is she compares sex work as if, again, it's just a regular occupation, that if you're able, she gives the false equivalence of, if I'm able to give be a therapist to these people and give them my service, then people should be able to give sex and get transactional, money for it. They should be able to transaction it. It's literally prostitution. Like it's not the same thing. It's not just a here you go. Okay, thank you. Have a great day. It is a thing that is connected spiritually. It is a physical thing. It is like these feminists who just normalize these really critical things that can really change and destroy lives. This ought to be criminal. To portray this and try to proliferate this amongst children. Again, reading through so many trafficking articles and headlines, there is not enough supply to quench the thirst of a demand for sex trafficking. There's just not. There never will be. And so that's the thing that these feminists don't understand. So anyway, the rest of the article just really goes into the rest of these other things that Teen Vogue has pushed for, including extremist policies. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't know is, I want to say this happened in 2019. There was an Ars Technica journalist, and the reason why I mentioned Condé Nast in the beginning, as I caveated this article, Condé Nast being the parent company to Teen Vogue, Ars Technica, which is like Ars Technica is like a technical magazine. It's like, technology. Anyway, there was a journalist that, I'm pretty sure you've never heard of this story, but there was a journalist there for Ars Technica. He was caught in a sting wanting to have child rape with an undercover officer's, their supposed children. And the children, I believe, were around 11, 12 years old. And he would go into very heavily descriptive ways of how he would want to do things to them. And again, look, this is why I mentioned this, because I bet you never heard of that story. I think his name was Dr. Pumpkin or something, like Dr. Pumpkin Spice. Let me try to see if I can search it really quick, rather quickly. Let me see, Dr. Pumpkin. Peter Bright, Dr. Pizza. Yep. Dr. Pizza. Right here. FBI arrest Trump-hating reporter Dr. Pizza for child sex solicitation. Peter Bright, an Ars Technica writer with the handle Dr. Pizza on Twitter, is accused of attempting to meet two children after exchanging messages with their mother on a fetish messaging app. He openly joked about the infamous conspiracy. But yeah, that's pumpkin fright. That's what I was thinking of, Dr. Pizza. So this, and I don't know that he still has his Twitter, but here's I don't want to take you to an alternative news source for the likes of this platform, but here's the actual filing, the court filing. I bet you never heard of this. So this is coming from the Condé Nast family. I'm just saying, guys, you really need to have a hard eye on all of these publications, all of these entertainment pieces, these magazines. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a magazine out there, a modern day magazine that has been the voice or the given advice for us growing up. I don't think that it's out there anymore. They've all been infiltrated. They've all been radicalized. And unfortunately, this is their agenda. So anyway, guys, let me know. Did you hear about those two stories? Let me know that you will definitely be turning away your daughters, granddaughters, nieces away from these magazine publications. Please let me know that you will keep these extra set of eyes on the things that they're looking at, because I'm telling you, I know it's a hard job these days. I know it is, but these are the things, if they want to corrupt the minds of these young people, not just mentally, but also spiritually. And, unfortunately, but fortunately also is that you can give them the opportunity to tell them about a greater God who detests all of this, and who will give them what they need, and that they have a great provider, they have a great father up there, and that they don't need to follow this culture. So anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. I will catch you guys in the next one.